Everybody, my name is William. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and today we're doing another FSEconomy flight in the XCub. We're going to be picking up at Wilson Bar and flying on to Deer Creek, another small little grass strip. Should be a really fun flight. Had a blast with the last one, so I hope you guys enjoy this one. As well, as always, if you do like the video, make sure to give it a like. It does help me out a ton, and I really appreciate it, as well as consider subscribing if you want to see more content, as always. So let's go ahead and get into the plane and get this flight underway. Welcome on board the XCub, everybody. You can see we are picking up where we left off at Wilson Bar. Absolutely beautiful. Gonna try and get the plane moved on a little bit further. So we're gonna go ahead and go through, get this thing started up, and then we'll get our flight started in FSEconomy and get underway here in just a moment. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and put the fuel tank. We'll start on the left tank there. Let's get our battery on. Let's see. We will also go ahead and get all this stuff up. We will go ahead and get the ignition on as well. Fuel pump and mixture in, nav light on. Looks like nobody's around, so clear prop. There we go. Fires right up to life. Good oil pressure. Just outside the green, oil temperature is going to come up. Fuel pressure looks good. Alright, so everything looks good on that front. We do have it in where we're going. It's 905 India Delta, or Deer Creek, and you can see here it's showing 62.2 nautical miles away. That's as the crow flies. We're probably going to take a little bit longer because we're going to follow this river on the way out and off to the west. So last time we took the right fork. This time we're going to fly to it, and once again we're going to stay right, but we're going to go the other path on the way over, and then basically just follow this out a little bit until you can kind of see the mountains get a little bit lower in this area, and we can just zoom on up from there. So that's kind of our plan. Let's go ahead and bring our map back in. We'll get the client up here. So we got our XCub available at Wilson Bar. We'll go flight actions, start flight. And we've got our game warden on board now, ready to get underway. So let's go ahead and we're going to taxi down. We're going to use runway, what is that, 6 for our departure. So let's go ahead and get avionics master on. Even though it doesn't really seem to do anything for some reason. Avionics master on, strobe on, and the landing light on. Transponders already in altitude mode. And we're just going to taxi on down to the end here. Those trees that we wanted to avoid on our way in, we'll taxi right up to the end of them and make our departure on out. We're going to have to do a pretty quick turnaround to start heading back in the same direction. But I kind of know from the end of runway 24 we were able to turn around to make our approach in there anyway, so we should be okay. Get ourselves lined up. Looks like a daunting view out the windscreen there for our departure. Go ahead and put a notch of flaps in, and we're going to get underway here. So full power, and release the brakes. Just hold it nice and steady. And there we go. We are up. So this time I think what we're going to do is we're going to fly straight towards this ridgeline, and then we're going to do a left-hand turn and use all this area over here for us to make our turnaround. So let's go ahead and start this bank. Pretty aggressive. And once we kind of level out and we're heading on course, we'll get our flaps in as we come back over the ridge and overflying Wilson Bar down there. Such a cool little airport. Let's get our flaps in. And trim the nose down just a little bit. Let's go ahead and lean that mixture out just a touch. Myself some nose down trim. And we could go ahead and pull that power on back a little bit now. I still absolutely love this area. It is beautiful to fly around. So I think what we do is we take this turn here. And we're going to keep on climbing up a little bit more. I'm going to try and be a little bit more sensible with our flying this time. And just keep climbing. You know, follow the valley and all that good stuff, but we don't need to get too carried away. Let's update the altimeter. I don't think the live weather's working at the moment. So yeah, it would just be about 62 nautical miles for us. Like I said, if we were going as the crow flies, we could climb up over these mountains. But we're going to follow the valley for the first little bit at least, and then we will cut up towards the north a bit more and just kind of proceed direct to Deer Creek from there. But I just really enjoy these views. Really nice flying as well. These mountains aren't too tall for us in the XCub, so might as well kind of enjoy flying in and amongst them whenever I know I can kind of get myself out of trouble if I need to. Saying that out loud, it sounds like a terrible idea, but fun nevertheless. So alright, we are kind of on our path for the first little bit. We're just going to follow this river. We've got it on our map right there. And yeah, it's showing if we went direct, we're about half an hour out. We'll lean the mixture out a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and stay on our tank we used for our departure, at least for the next little bit. We'll pull the prop on back. Something that I should have experimented with on the first flight, but go ahead and pull it back now. Quiet things down a little bit and also help our fuel burn just a touch. Alrighty, so we're pretty much established in this. Let's go ahead and take in the views. Continuing to follow this river, pretty decent sized river as well. Just want to make a note of this little airfield up here. I think that's Kilo Golf Romeo Charlie. It looks like it's up in the mountains over there. That would probably be a pretty cool one to go visit, so I'm just going to write that one down for me. If you see us fly there later on, you'll kind of know why. See if I can work my way back down that way. But yeah, you can see the big old river we're following all the way out here to the west. We're still just working our way along the valley. It is very, very pretty. I throw a little bit of weather into the mix here, and we probably have our hands quite full. Once again, though, just I gotta say, this avionics suite definitely does make things nice for us. So we're going to continue the climb on up. Just nice and steady. We're doing about 107 knots across the ground. They're through about 4,000 feet at the moment. Deer Creek, the runway's even smaller than Wilson Bar. We've got 1,000 feet. Again, the same runways, though. It's runway 6 and 24. Should be pretty interesting, and the elevation there is just under 1,200 feet. So don't need to get up super high or anything like that. It should be right on the edge of a river somewhere as we work our way up. It is pretty cool also, just kind of doing these a little blind, flying into the airstrips for the first time and just kind of working off of what I can tell from Sky Vector. Makes it a little bit more intriguing. So hopefully the airfield's pretty interesting. Wilson Bar I definitely thought was pretty cool. I really enjoyed the rapid approach we did into there as well. Let's take a look. Let's see. Is that about 10 gallons or so? Yeah, we'll go ahead and switch over to the right side. Does make it just a little bit difficult to read. I know that there's a camera we could use to make it a little bit easier, but we're going to continue on out this way a little bit further. We'll take a look at the map and see kind of what we're planning on here. We can follow this valley all the way out if we want, and then turn up to the north. We could also intercept that river and turn up to the north, or we can kind of cut it the other way. You could see the river starts up here as well and snakes back in to Deer Creek. So we've got a couple options available to us depending on what we want to do, and I think the river's actually all the way through there. It's just where it's kind of showing up on the map. We want to get around these mountains first. It looks like it's kind of going down a little bit, and then if we can cut over the top kind of in this area on the map, that's what I think I'm going to go for here. Just really enjoying taking it nice and slow and looking at all the trees, all the beautiful mountains in the area. And a little bit more sensible this time. We're cruising around 4,600 at the moment. We're just below the mountains off to our right and left, and for the most part we're up above the smaller stuff, just the highest peaks, except for off to the right here. We're over the top of the majority of it with the valley down below us. We can just kind of see the way it's going out our nose. Definitely a fun plane to fly. I think we're going to do some exploring in a Savage Cub as well before too long. Kind of take my crutches away of these lovely avionics and give us a compass and tell us good luck, basically. Should be fun, especially incorporating it with FSEconomy, where we're actually trying to go from a point to another point. Just doing straight VFR navigation. I think that'll be a good time. Trying to decide where I want to cut to the right here, or if we just want to continue all the way out before we do our turn. Just looking up into some of these valleys, really. The mountains just really impress me. Beautiful stuff. I think we'll angle the plane a little bit to the right here, and we're going to try and cross over this ridgeline and work our way up. Let's go ahead and get the power up just a little bit, facilitate a little bit more of a climb, keep our airspeed going. We've got more power and more prop as well if we need it, so no rush and no worries if it seems like we're not getting the performance, but should be just fine. See the big old river down there that we've been following through this entire valley? We're about 42.5 nautical miles. If we continue heading just straight west, that distance isn't really going to come down too fast. It's just, we're kind of just continuing to work 500 off to the side of the airport, basically, without really closing the distance much. See how much it changes once we get up over this. It's just solid forest in this area. That is some beautiful stuff down there. Look at that little trail all the way up to the top of that. Be a beautiful place to go visit someday. Also on this one up here, you can see the trail zigzagging all the way up across. So if we turn to the right a little bit, we're going to have to cross over the top of these mountains. You could backtrack and make about a 90-degree turn through here, fly around them, and then go to the left a little bit. You've got options. Since it seems like if we turn now, we're still going to have to climb over these at the end. Let's just go ahead and cross here, right at this little dip. And then we'll make our turn in this little valley all the way up. So that is our plan. Mixture out just a touch more. just need to climb up high enough to cross over this one, and then we'll jump back down into the valley on the other side. And we'll go back to kind of taking in the views as we work our way up to the north on the way into Deer Creek. A little bit sensitive to on its pitch sometimes. Wind up looking away and got a little crazy with the camera there, sorry about that. Wind up looking away, and if I don't keep a some sort of reference to the horizon, I can come back and find that we're in like a 10-degree nose up attitude. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, just look at how everything drops away. Over this ridge line and then just on back down. We've got these mountains over here to the right, but we can kind of angle down into the right as we head up towards this coast, or this ridge line, sorry. We could also just continue flying straight basically and cross over this next ridgeline and work up that way if we wanted to. Take a look at our map and see which one makes more sense. Might help if I zoom the correct way and don't hit the page button on accident. If we cross over the next one, we don't have to circle back as much, and honestly, we could just go direct to from here. I think we'll go ahead and pick the point right in front of us, and we will fly that up over the next ridgeline here in front of us. And then that'll put us in this valley kind of area heading up towards Deer Creek. Actually getting to take in the views from some altitude in this thing. Last time it seemed like we didn't really get much above about 1,000 feet above the ground. So kind of nice. A little different. Let's see if we can hold it here at about 6,000-ish. And yeah, we'll stick with this, fly over to the next ridge, and see kind of what it looks like from there. But for now, let's take in some more views from the outside. Really pretty stuff once again. Look at this road as well. I caught it while just kind of looking around outside before we cut back in. That would be an absolute blast to drive. Imagine getting up to the top of that and looking back out at this on the other side. be an amazing view. But we are turning up a little bit more towards the north now. We can actually see that we are pretty well clear of the mountains on the way in from here, so if we wanted to, I could just go direct to and do 905 India Delta or Deer Creek. I think we will start heading that direction a little bit more aggressively. We're about 22 nautical miles away. We're showing 11 minutes at almost 116 knots across the ground. Pretty good speed for this thing. Just want to double check. Let's see. I don't know. It says about 10. Yeah, we need to switch over. So we're going to go to the left tank now. And we're going to keep it on the left all the way in from here. That's fine. We still have about an hour usable on the right tank alone, so we're doing just fine on fuel. Just want to make sure we don't get it in a crazy imbalance or anything like that. I'll say this plane also, once you get it trimmed out, I have no autopilot on or anything like that. We're in a little bit of a climb, but for the most part this thing is super stable. It makes it really fun to hand fly once you get it kind of mellowed out a little bit. It does take a little bit of doing, but it'll be interesting to see what the weather's like in this region. If it starts, or if it will work for one of our future flights here. I don't know why. There's something going on. I think at the moment our live weather is just not been working today, but had that happen a couple times, and normally just sorts itself out. This is some crazy stuff up in this area. I'm fascinated by mountains, probably because I live in a state where it is completely flat. Remember, there's a mountain not too far from where I used to fly, Riverside Airport in Tulsa, and they call it, it's called Turkey Mountain. And compared to these things, it is a foothill. But that's our kind of mountain. So need to start thinking about how we want to approach this. Once we go in, we could go all the way over to the left here, continue following this river down in. We could just fly straight over the top. Look at this. This is all the way down over there. I think what we'll do is we will fly this off to the left just a little bit and kind of start making our way down just a touch. We're showing about 7.5 minutes out of the field. I fly this way, it's going to take us a little bit longer, but we do need to lose altitude anyways. Like I said, the elevation's just under 1,200 feet. And once again, we're going to want to be pretty well set up on our final, since our runway is 300 feet shorter than it was at Wilson Bar. I didn't struggle into there, but I don't know what it's going to look like here at Deer Creek. There's going to be more trees or anything like that, so let's go ahead and enjoy the views one last time before we start making our way in for our approach and hopefully smooth landing into Deer Creek. Okie dokie, we are just taking a little bit of a shortcut, kind of cutting out that little left, right, right that we would have had to do. You can kind of see it on the map there. Instead, we're just kind of crossing over this little ridgeline we had in front of us. We're making our way back to the river at this point, and the river's going to take us all the way in to Deer Creek. Let's go ahead and get our map zoomed in a little bit more so we got a little bit of a better idea. So we just cut out that left that we would have taken, and then the right to go back up to the north, and another right to get back onto the river we're about to rejoin here. We could see it down here off to our left, so that worked out pretty well. Cut a little bit of just kind of some pointless distance we would have had to cover since we were able to just cross right over as easily as we did. Let's go ahead and bring our mixture in almost all the way now, as we're down through 3,000 feet. Let's see, what else can we go ahead and do? Still got our landing light on. I've just been keeping it on pulse for the majority of this. Just one, I think it looks pretty cool, and two, does make airplanes a lot easier to spot, in my opinion. We're staying on the left tank because we burned up the right quite a bit on the way in. We're continuing to descend on down, and I guess at this point we could also go ahead and bring that prop all the way up. And that should give us the performance if we get on the throttle, or if we need to like do a go around or anything like that, climb up over something. But also it will should kind of help us dissipate our airspeed if we pull the power back. So it kind of helps us both ways there. It is much choppier down in this valley, I'll tell you that much. And once again, the runway direction, I believe, showed 6 and 2-4. So from kind of the direction we're coming in on, I think we're going to have to kind of circle back around for either one. So it kind of looks like it's at a bend in the river as well. So we'll see what it looks like. I have no idea what the field is really going to look like. So I don't want to make a plan just yet either way. Look at the coloration in these mountains here. Totally different. Looks really cool. Let's go ahead and pull that power on back a little bit. I want to start getting our airspeed down. So we are just 4 nautical miles away. Still have yet to lay eyes on the field. It's up around this corner, I believe. That's not going to help us get our airspeed under control if we just start diving towards the ground. Trying to see if we can make anything out up there. It's probably around the corner. We'll see as we get a little closer. Let's just focus on getting our airspeed under control. At 2,000 feet, we're going to go ahead and go full rich on the mixture. Getting a little bit more nose-up trim in it. Really got to trim the nose down once it's nice and fast. This thing just wants, it makes so much lift, it just wants to climb, 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 climb. Kind of see something, maybe. Not 100% sure what that is. See as we get a little bit closer in. Just kind of peek out the right side here so we can see over the nose nice and easy. It actually looks like there's some buildings over there or something. Interesting, that kind of looks like a... I'm not 100% sure, but that kind of looks like a hangar. That might be our That looks... We're heading 020 right now, and that kind of looks like it's about 060, so I'm going to assume that's our airport here. Certainly looks like it. Let's go ahead and pull that power all the way back. 70 knots. 2 notches of flaps out. Go for runway 06. Oh, this is going to be tricky to spot as we're going uphill as well. Get a little bit of power in here. Nice and heavy on the brakes, and fully pulling back there so we didn't end up going over the nose. Wasn't the smoothest approach ever, but we definitely made it work. I was a little worried about how close we were going to get to this building. It does look like a little hangar or something down here. That's pretty neat. And a pretty cool little airport once again. Just a 1,000-foot grass strip. Right on the edge of the river here. I do hope you guys enjoyed the flight. We'll go ahead and get it logged here in just a moment. We're just going to taxi on back down. Look at this. It's like a little fuel station and everything over here. Pretty neat. If you guys have been enjoying these flights, definitely let me know. Also, as always, giving the video a like does help me out a ton. Subscribing if you want to see more content, as always. Let's get the client up, and we will go ahead and hit our parking brake. And everything is going to go away there, and we are now logged in the system. Our game warden is now here at Deer Creek to do whatever it is he's got to do. I hope you all did enjoy the flight. This one was pretty fun, different. We weren't as aggressive through the valleys or anything like that, but I still had just as good of a time. So I do hope you guys enjoyed as well. And until next time, bye-bye.